Those who would trade our freedom for the soup kitchen of the welfare state have told us they have a utopian solution of peace without victory. They call their policy accommodation. And they say if we'll only avoid any direct confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways and learn to love us.
That we turn people into helpless children.
I don't remember talking to anyone who's ever been on welfare who didn't think they were being treated like children while they were on it.
Alleviate the pushing and shoving to get in.
Before our cameras got there, it was a free-for-all. There was no line or numbers. Will Baubel was worried about his son's safety.
People cutting, pushing, whatever.
Baubel got here at 7 a.m. He was waiting for 5 hours when we talked to him.
We've been trying to go in and out the building to keep our son warm. He's a newborn, so we don't really want him out here in this weather.
It's a high demand at this point because it has been closed for almost 4 years.
23 through 40.
Rebecca Venema, the executive director of Wyoming Housing Commission, says it's first come, first served. Every application has a date and time stamp, so the sooner you get here, the sooner you get called for an interview to see if you're eligible.
As you know, I wrote a book called Extreme Ownership. The opening chapter of the book is a horrible situation with a fratricide happens on the battlefield, so friendly forces killing friendly forces, some of those forces being mine. And, you know, it's all these people I could blame and all these little incidents that happened that I could have said, well, you know, we had this radio cryptographic change that happened in the middle of operation and it had people weren't able to talk to each other, and we had these Iraqis that we didn't speak English, and we had these units that we hadn't worked with before, and they did things that we didn't expect, and there's plenty of blame to go around. And essentially I said, hey, you know whose fault this is? This is my fault. I'm the commander.
In our culture, we always have discussions about rights. My rights are being trampled on. My rights are being trampled on. Well, of course they're being trampled on. Everyone's rights get trampled on, and some more than others, obviously. But there isn't a dialogue about responsibility. That's what the dialogue should be about. It's like, yeah, you're oppressed, but you're not as oppressed as a bunch of other people. So are you the oppressor or are you the oppressed? Which one? You see these Ivy League students who are agitating on behalf of the oppressor, or of the oppressed. It's like they're irritated because being in the top 1 in 1,000 people in the world isn't enough. There's somebody who is better off, who's 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000. They point to them and say, well, you're the oppressor because, you know, you're 1% of the 1% and I'm just the 1%. But, you know, they forget about the starving masses in the rest of the world in relationship to whom, well, they're obviously oppressors. You're oppressed. Okay, fine. You're the oppressor too. You're the victim. Okay, fine. You're the goddamn perpetrator too. So maybe you should take some responsibility for that. And no, it's not that. We're not going to do that. Someone else is going to be the perpetrator. That's convenient. If it's always someone else, then all the good is on your side. And all the evil is on their side. And once you put all the evil on someone's side, then the next thing to do is to take whatever action against them you see fit. And why not? Because that's where all the evil resides. That just makes you good. What are you going to do? Put up with it? So... and we're busily teaching our young people that as fast as we possibly can. So, and I think it's motivated in part by this postmodern cancer whose goal is to gnaw on the roots, gnaw on the roots, gnaw on the roots until the whole corrupt, oppressive, patriarchal system. So that's the tyrannical king, right? That's the mythological projection of the tyrannical king who eats his own children. That's the mythological idea behind the patriarchy. We'll gnaw on that till it falls over. Well, and then what? Well, then, I don't know what? The equity utopia will magically arrive. God.